Are you ready? Are you ready to pot it up?
Let's go. Let's have fun. Peatcast it.
This is the Simply Youth Ministry Podcast with Doug Fields,
I think it's going to be a four-shoulder touch.
Matt McGill,
Nothing says loving like a muffin.
Josh Griffin,
The internet is a hotbed of activity.
and Jana Sardi.
Podcast.
The show starts now.
Hey everybody, Doug Fields here, Matt McGill, Jana Sardi, episode 121, minus our good friend Josh Griffin, who texted me, emailed me late last night.
So weak.
Well, you know he's known forever.
Exactly.
He's had this on his date. He's got a staff day today where he called it his annual vision casting.
At Disneyland.
And the fact that he's been the high school pastor for 2 years makes it funny when he says things like annual.
Yes.
But that's okay.
No,
We're gonna
but
miss him
that's
greatly.
what you love about him, though, is he knows how to market and
Aw,
make things sound a lot more exciting.
Make
than
him
they
real
really are.
flashy.
That's
and
not
shiny.
true. I love many things about him.
No, I know, but that's
And I love the fact that
Yeah.
he's probably gaining weight right now, which is putting you in the lead. There is somebody, to our team that didn't register. We still have, because Josh blogged about it and he
Yeah.
put the wrong email address, so we haven't entered them in yet. But we have about 100 people, right, Chris? 100 people that have entered the contest.
it's awesome.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And let me see if I can find the 334 is one. That's one of our biggest.
Now you're not going to say anybody's names, right?
I don't think I will.
Not on purpose.
There's one that's got to be wrong.
Why? What is it? You know the person.
No.
Oh.
What?
I
are you
don't
gonna
know,
hit me
but
for?
well, now I feel awkward.
Well, look at the weight.
What is it?
119 pounds?
Oh.
That's
okay.
got to be wrong. That's got to be. Could you have typed that in wrong, Chris? Okay, we need to double check on Robbie, because if he really is, if he is really 119, he should not be in this contest.
Seriously.
Maybe he's a midget.
Yeah. 276, 324. We've got a lot of people in the mid twos. 268, 271, 287, 330. We have some wives that have also.
There's a wife that's 330.
No. A 316. So Matt, you're not the biggest. 351. That may be the biggest so far.
Okay, what do you think my weigh-in was?
Because you
313.
always deceive me with your weight. No, I'm
Same
going to
with
say
my intelligence.
there's not much deception there. 351 is the highest so far.
351.
361, that is the highest so far.
You could probably, it's a spreadsheet, probably sort by the highest.
Yeah, I'm just lucky to have it on the iPhone. 328.
Okay, so
Jana.
Jana,
There's a couple.
328?
Oh, okay. I was going to say there's a couple in the ones that shouldn't be in this, but then I can see they're females. That's great. All right.
You're saying women shouldn't weigh in the ones? Only they can, not men?
Yeah.
okay, do we know
All
what
right.
they're winning? What you're winning?
Good stuff.
Okay.
Good stuff. We're just lucky to get the starting weights in a spreadsheet.
Somebody
I had
asked
to
me
beg
today,
Chris
what are they
to-
winning? And I was like,
we're gonna get them an email today. Me and Chris are on this thing. What you weighed in at 294.
Ooh,
What?
299.
299.
oh.
So
that was
yesterday
mean.
I'm with him, Matt, a little bit, and I asked him how it's been going because I haven't seen him in several days, and
I said, what did I say?
I said, "How's exercise going?" He goes, "It's going good if you count not exercising as exercise."
No, he says, I've been watching what I've eaten. I just haven't started exercising. He was at Chick-fil-A yesterday.
I know, and I had a non-breaded
Yeah,
sandwich.
You can
Oh,
eat.
okay.
You can eat good at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
280 calories for a Chick-fil-A sandwich.
I had the Chick-fil-A sandwich, and it was great. And I
I-
didn't get a shake.
That's good.
I did a shake.
Really wanted
French
to get
fries?
that dreamsicle.
Yeah.
I have heard you order fish the last couple times, so.
No, I've been eating pretty good. It was the night before the Germans left. That was a little tough.
Yeah.
That was tough.
You gotta be
So that
mentally
was
tough.
that was chili
lost
and
2
a baked
pounds.
potato.
2 pounds since we weighed in.
That's good.
I was actually going to tell you
Yeah.
in my text of awkward moments from yesterday,
Yeah.
I was going to say you looked really skinny.
That's awkward.
I don't think that's
No.
awkward. I think that's excellent.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. I
'Cause she's got to follow.
the part of the problem is we
Thought you
started
were
this
hot.
contest 12 weeks too late because I don't really have a chance of winning. I'm in it for moral support. Now I'm still going to try to get to 185.
Yep.
But I was 210 in September.
Yeah.
So today I weighed in 192. So I'm pushing 18 pounds I've lost.
Which is great.
Mountain biking.
You can give yourself youth ministry products.
You know what it did? What the biggest help was Morgan's advice from Boneheads, the fish factory team.
What was his advice?
Use the Lose It app.
Oh.
I downloaded Lose
Yeah,
It.
that was actually his wife's advice. But yeah.
What
Okay.
does it just take? You write down everything you eat.
No,
Yeah.
the reason why I would say that is because we talked about that meeting, and she's like, "Yeah, didn't you get some good tips on how to eat and all that stuff?"
Nutrition.
Nutrition. And I said, "No, not really. We talked about the details of the contest. We didn't say like do this or do that." And
Yeah.
so when you said, "Oh, it was very helpful,"
Yeah.
Yeah.
she thought I was a
Well,
liar.
here's a question that I've got.
Which I think.
Here's
all
a
the time.
question I've got. I've had some people Twitter that can they still enter in?
I think so.
Why not?
They're
'Cause
just
it's
going to
hard-
be
it's har-
behind.
it's harder for them,
It's going to
yeah.
be more difficult. So the answer is yes.
It
More
is.
difficult for us because we gotta enter in there. Chris is trying to find
Wait.
a genius way
Just make a
to do it.
Google Doc.
Well, that's what it is.
I mean, a form. Can't you make a
well,
form?
that's what I'm going to do for people to.
Well, that's what
But
it
they have to
is.
send in their pictures, and I couldn't have them submit the pictures on a Google form.
But not all of these people are going to be at the SYM conference.
No, but we're going to have a conference winner and a
And a
non-conference
non-conference
winner.
winner.
But the
You guys
conference
should
winner's
do
gonna
like
be
a run or something, just right
There.
before your last exercise. What do they call it on Biggest Loser?
I'll tell you what.
Your
The
last
Biggest
workout?
Loser, I'm not a fan of that show.
Yeah, last chance workout.
Yeah.
there
Last
you go.
Chance. I'm not a
Thanks.
fan of the show, and maybe it's because I don't
fat.
ever. I'm fat, and it makes me sad. Well, I don't know what it is. I just don't like the show. But I watched the finale
Yeah.
with Mish.
Please tell me it was a little motivating.
Not at all. They didn't do any challenge. I thought it was going to be like Survivor, where at least you get to see a couple challenges.
Well, that's been the whole season. You missed
Yeah.
the 12 weeks leading up to the finale.
Yeah, which is a crappy finale.
Well, you
The
know
only
what?
thing
That's what I
that's-
watched season 1 of Survivor. I watched just the finale,
Yeah,
and I got hooked.
And it's awesome.
And I've now watched every season since.
because it's an hour that's taped and then the hour
'Kay.
that's live, and that's kind of fun.
This season, I mean, it's actually pretty good with how many Survivor,
Oh, Survivor, okay.
Oh.
how many backstabs there are at the
Yeah.
blind
yeah.
sides.
Yeah, no, it's a good season.
I
That's
I
kind of
hate
been amazing.
Survivor because
I
it's
don't-
Survivor. It's the mediocre wins. It is.
No, there's been some good winners.
Do you have an opinion?
If you don't watch it, you don't
Nope,
get to weigh
only
in.
knowledge.
All right, so Matt,
I watched a couple seasons.
would you kind of please talk to us and to your
Yes.
team about? Let me just take that from
Yeah.
you, okay?
Oh shoot!
Talk to us and the team about how you're going to do.
On this competition?
Yeah.
I'm gonna win.
You are going to win.
I don't know if I'm gonna win, but I'm
Will
gonna.
you at least beat Griffin?
It's hard because it's like
Oh,
golf. You're
he
playing
is
against.
But
already,
Griffin
he has
is
already
like-
given up. He's
No, I'm
already-
not. I'm
Josh
not.
has some good
I'm-
determination when it comes to stuff like
I
this.
Of
know,
course.
You've given up. I
I'm-
can hear in your voice. We're not even
No,
a week in.
It's like golf. You play against the course and yourself. You're not playing against other people. And yeah,
What?
so I feel like, oh yeah, you didn't know this about golf?
Well,
We should start the podcast over.
This is a pretty slow start, isn't it?
No, well, not for the
No,
people
I'm
who are in the
totally,
weight
I'm
contest.
totally into it. I'm totally like
Okay.
Nish and I'm
Can I-
checking in
can
and
I
telling
get
her what
Matt
I'm eating.
McCage to give you special attention.
she
Yeah, I
writing
would
down
love
your
it.
points every day.
Matthew
No, she's-
McCage lost 176 pounds. McNutt. Matthew
Yeah,
McCage
Matt
was
McCage
the last.
is a different guy.
He's the last guy to enter our contest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he's a friend of the podcast, right?
he's on staff at Simply Youth
He-
Ministry.
Is the Live Live guy?
He's the Live Live and conference.
What's Live Live?
That's the curriculum.
Oh, I'm familiar with the curriculum.
I just don't know what it's really.
Well, I
neither
don't know
do
what
I.
he does. I don't know what he does. Is
He
just-
answers
He-
people's questions. He's
He's the guy with the phone.
yes,
If you have
yes,
a question,
he's great.
Yeah,
He's great.
He's the one
he
guy
is
with the phone.
our wonderful front touch of everything.
I should ask him some
Yeah,
questions.
the rest
and
of us
screw
don't
with them.
talk to people, but Matt actually really.
He answers the phone. He's
Yeah.
the only one.
Remember when Brazel used to talk to people? Now he doesn't even talk to us.
That's true. He actually
He's
took my
so
call. I called
important.
him twice today, and he answered both times.
Wow.
I know.
He must need something from you.
That's funny.
It's
Well,
not like he's listening to the podcast.
he
so
doesn't.
no.
He doesn't.
He's too busy.
He's making money, going to meetings.
He's Mogul of youth ministry.
Here we go. This is our buddy Andy Disher. Andy he just says, I've been going back and re-listening to the older podcasts.
What?
Wow. I love it.
Chim,
Is he online right now?
He is. He's in the live.
Oh,
Andy.
I love him.
I'm sorry. I missed his. He did a Google Talk to me the other day, and I missed it. I wasn't
You
on my
ignored
computer.
it.
Well, here. That was good, Jana. I've been going back and re-listening to the older podcasts. Chim, Ding, Weigh-Ins, and eBay are just a few of the things that make me laugh as I'm at the gym. People must think I'm crazy. Hey, is he part of the contest? I've seen his photo. He doesn't look very heavy.
You can
it says,
judge. Just
if only they knew. I want to thank you all for
You're
everything
welcome.
you do. It's been an interesting journey so far, and I couldn't have been through it without all of you. The advice, smiles, opportunities, and friendships that you have given is more than I could have asked for. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone at the Simple Youth Ministry Conference. As someone recently told me, I love going to family reunions. Praying for you all as you lead your ministry and us fellow ministers. Andy Disher from Kingsville, Ontario. Going to see him at the Simple Youth Ministry Conference.
Ontario, is that Canada?
Did you ask Andy? I mean, Ontario. Andy's from
California?
Ontario, Canada, isn't he?
That's great.
And he says he's a twig, so he wouldn't be in the contest.
Yeah.
He's a
What's a
twig.
Oh, he's a twig. I'm
Yeah.
like, what is a twig?
Yeah, but he's going to
What
the
kind of
My
conference.
social
husband could
media
have
thing
a-
is that?
Courtney Cole, or Chloe, just wrote and said, I'd like to be included in your podcast. That's it.
That's awesome.
That's it.
You are Courtney. You're part of the team.
I know.
Part of the
This
team.
is from Matthew Sheeny. Says, assuming that McGill is on board for the Biggest Loser competition,
totally on board.
why is it he accidentally parks in the executive pastor spot?
Oh,
Shouldn't
God.
he
Seriously.
be walking more?
Oh, gosh.
Matt is still the most entertaining and annoying person on the show.
Oh. That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. I parked in Glenn's spot today.
What's funny is, did somebody come tell you?
Oh yeah, he said to Kevin Robeson, the security guy, he said, "Hey, you should put a ticket on there, like a fake Saddleback ticket." And I think he was just joking around, you know,
Yeah.
or maybe he wasn't. I don't know. So Kevin Robeson came, he's like, "Hey, do you have the Nissan van?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" And the thing that's totally funny, I got here at I got to the office at 7:45, so I was there. There was parking all over the place, and
you
I
pulled
thought,
into that one spot.
yeah, I'm like, oh, I'll take one of the reserved. So, you know, knowing that only a limited people grab the reserved, I'm like, let the other ones open. And it was Glenn's. How great
You
is
should
that?
be walking more, Matt. I mean, this whole contest was set up with you in mind.
I know, and I'm totally changing.
Are you?
Yeah,
Okay.
Changing.
yeah.
This is from Mike Richardson. Mike
I'm here
asked
for
a
the long haul.
question.
Fit by 40, just like Julio.
He he bought the How Not to Be a Fool series in the Save Andy sale.
I gotta stop. You know what it's called in Germany? Don't be dumb.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This How Not to Be a Fool?
Yeah, Zern put it together, and dumb is dumb in German, but I don't know any other word. But I'm like, what is this? And it's don't be dumb. I thought that
That's
was
funny.
great.
Zoran is a friend of ours who was an intern many years ago who
Yeah.
now heads up Simply Youth Ministry in Germany.
Oh
Takes
yeah,
our
I'm a
product.
published author in German.
Yeah.
He's published one of my books.
That's good. What book was that?
Yeah, one
the
of
book
your
of
books.
questions. It was it's like 8 questions for a quiet time. It's not a book.
Way to go.
It was awesome.
Hey, Amazon.com.
German.
Yeah.
Mike says
Self-publishing.
there was a bit in the commentary on the series about the first person who emailed Josh to get a free PDYM conference. Is it still available? No.
Nope.
No.
Good question though.
That is so.
A couple of these went to me, to the podcast,
Yeah.
the SYM podcast at Gmail, which
Yeah.
you are welcome
A
to send all.
couple. Our team doesn't know what you're talking about.
Thank you. A couple of the weight, pictures of
Pictures of the
scales
scales.
and feet.
Nasty
and the whole
feet. So
Or
gross.
do you hate feet?
Oh,
They're
I just
awesome.
don't. If they're nice, they're fine. But
I didn't
if
know
they're
you didn't like
nasty-
Have you ever
feet.
seen nice guys' feet though?
She loves my toes.
McGill has like Flintstone feet.
Yeah,
That's
who's got
awesome.
Jake has got the worst toes.
You know that his nail nastiness is going away?
No.
Yeah, he's down to one nasty nail.
Wow.
Per foot.
Is it per foot? I thought it was 1 and 2.
No, like per foot.
He's with. I tried to get him on the show. He's with Josh. Jake is with Josh. So then I went to the third string,
Yeah, who's the third string?
Lee. Jana's.
Who was first string?
Well, Kathy. I asked Kathy.
I was gonna say, what
She's
about
first
Cody?
string, huh?
Huh? Kathy?
She didn't want to do it.
No, she had too much going on today. She had to do Christmas shopping. She's still like.
She's
The
married.
Fields
She's
Christmas
married
shopping
to her.
the second week
Wow.
of
Well,
December.
Here's the deal. She says to me, "I thought you were going to go shopping." I said, "Babe, I said I'll take a day and go shopping with you. We just haven't talked about a day yet." She goes, "How about I trade you the day of shopping and you put up the Christmas lights?"
That's awesome.
Could you do it for me this weekend while I'm gone?
Have you seen this house?
Yeah.
I did mine. I know what I'm going to do next year, though, too. I got a way better idea.
Yeah.
Mm.
Would you do
Would
my
I
house
do
while I'm
yours?
gone?
Not
I
a
leave tomorrow for
chance.
Seattle. No?
No way.
What if I paid you?
Why ain't paid intern?
Oh, I'll get some.
Do you have an intern?
Yeah,
Josh
John
Pease.
Varner. Josh
okay.
Pease is not an intern anymore.
Well, I know. Well, he's not.
Okay,
right
so
this
anyway, I
minute, but-
printed out this picture, and this picture is of Blake Brown.
Is this the worst podcast we've ever done?
No, it's great. Look at Blake.
Okay.
Blake does not look that big. That's
He's
the
got a little bit of a stomach. I
a
mean,
little bit, but he's
very
he's
small.
a tall
yeah.
looking guy, and he's 267. I'm glad you're in this, Josh. Way to go,
Blake.
Blake.
Josh Blake.
Oh.
Blake Brown.
God.
Sorry,
You're
sorry,
glad
Blake.
Josh is in it too.
You got to beat Josh. That's all I'm asking for.
I know. Now, why do you want me to beat
I don't
Josh
know if
so
you
bad?
can beat him.
Because Josh is so competitive on stuff like this, and it would just be nice for you to have that, because he is gonna.
To have that drive
But you know
or
what?
to have the
He-
win.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
He
I
can
just-
lose pretty
I'd-
fast because he's already dropped like 30, and then he gains
Yeah,
25
right.
back. And
Right. I just want you to know I held back on an inappropriate joke.
Thank you, thank you.
Great.
Dusty Smith and his wife Christy have joined the competition, but they send it to me, and I forward it on to I'm a loser at Simply Insider. That's what you want to send your weights to. I'm a loser at Simply Insider. Question from our buddy Ryan
.com?
Nielsen. When working at a small church, less than 200 people, how do I protect my wife from all the political junk that happens at the church? It is so small that all of the junk is known. But as a youth pastor's wife, she doesn't have the same freedom to express her thoughts and views as just a regular attendee. In addition, she is very defensive for me. So how do I protect her, especially when the junk is being thrown toward her? It's a good question. And Ryan, when you write, she is very defensive for me, wouldn't you say
She
that?
should be.
Yeah, that's kind of. I think that's I was going to say the role. I don't know if it's necessarily the role. I think it's normal in a healthy marriage when your spouse is being attacked that you would be
It's
defensive.
in the amendments,
In the amendments?
isn't it?
I don't know.
Fifth Amendment. You don't have to. You can defend your husband. You don't have to defend. You don't have to be a testimony or something, witness.
I don't
think I
know.
would do it. No.
Yeah, if your husband commits a murder, you don't have to.
Would you just
be the
commit to
witness.
lose weight?
I'm totally committed.
Chris is
Josh.
gonna look those up. Are you looking that up?
Beat Josh.
Oh, okay.
If you beat Josh, I'll take you to Roost Chris.
Nothing motivates him though.
I know.
There's
it's for
nothing that
myself.
motivates
I'm
him.
I'm doing it. I'm not doing it to beat him.
You're not. gonna do it.
Except for pain. Physical pain is the only thing that might
Oh,
motivate
you
him.
are so weak.
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh.
All right. Should we just end the podcast
Maybe.
here?
I
what?
told you 27 minutes, so we have about 7 minutes left.
This is the best podcast ever.
I think it's good. We're fine. It's very weight heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here, let's go to a little bit bigger, because whether it's small church or big church, I think, and Ryan hasn't been married for very long. I mean, maybe a couple years, a few years. I think it is our responsibility as the staff person to be the discerner of what we bring home.
Okay.
I decided a long time ago, because when I would tell Kathy insider information, some of the politics, and we'd debrief the day, and I would tell her about it,
Yeah.
I just watched her get a little more disappointed in our church. Because I think the closer you get to any type of leadership, obviously the more flaws that you see. I had lunch with a guy today who came from the marketplace to work at a church, and I don't
Yeah.
remember saying this, but he said, you asked me this. Like the first week I was there, he said, I guess I said to him, hopefully you will still like the church 6 months from now.
Huh.
And he goes, I had no idea what you were saying, but immediately I figured out what you were saying. Because the closer you get to it, the more difficult it
Yeah.
is when you see the flaws of all the people that you've been sitting in the congregation, and now all of a sudden you see them
Yeah.
up close and real. And I think we need to be discerning on how much we tell our spouse, because, Kathy still goes to church there. And so I've chosen to be, I've shared more with you guys about some of the disappointments as fellow staff people, because I do think you need to talk about some of the stuff. I don't feel like I have to tell Kathy all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't all relate to her, and it's just me
Yeah.
needing to download. So,
Yeah, I only say when I'm like way down in the dumps, because I mean I tend to talk about whatever I'm thinking about to just about
No.
whoever's in front of me. So I don't,
Yeah.
I mean it's just so I've
but
had
most
to
of
learn
our
that over
team
the
has a
years.
discernment fiber,
Right.
so they might be
Right.
able to.
Yeah, discernment / fake, whatever you call it. That's true.
But I feel like, I mean, my situation's a little different where I think
He's like, "Where's the microphone?"
I feel like
There's no politics in
my-
the interim ministry.
certainly my husband like is defensive for me. But I think it's a little
Every
bit
time
different.
I rip on you to
When
him,
have you ever been
he
criticized?
is-
Oh gosh.
Come on.
Nobody
But-
criticizes the golden child. Are
Stop.
you kidding me?
But here's what I was gonna say. I also think that my husband, we engaged in this knowing, like just what you were saying, like kind of that this is a partnership, and he worked at the church, so he has some previous experience. But that I think the idea, and I would say this about Kathy and Misha too, of like they both know it's an imperfect place. They've both grown into a little bit of that staff role of like, yes, this
Yeah.
is my church, but I also know that this is imperfect, and I also know that there is stuff back there, and some of it I don't want to
Yeah.
hear, and some of it, I don't tell me about that person because I like that person right now or whatever, But I think that it is a partnership. It's not just, you're not going to be able to, the truth is you're not going to be able to protect them from everything,
Yeah.
because you do it together.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think this guy, he's also asking, Ryan's asking,
in.
I
lean
am
in.
just
In
a
the
sec. My
picture.
neck has got a crick. I got to decrickify.
But
He's
Ryan's
asking a different
also saying-
question.
He's also saying
Yeah.
people are coming straight to her, it sounds like.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. Is that he's got a difficult situation because you can't control who comes and talks to your wife.
Yeah, but you and I have talked about this before. People come to you fishing for information.
Yes.
When
we
you're a
have.
leader in the church,
We talked about this just a little while ago.
yeah, yesterday, right?
Yeah.
There are people that will come to you and ask questions, under the quote unquote guise of being concerned, yet they're really fishing for information.
Yeah.
And some
They're concerned for themselves.
yeah, well,
Yeah,
and
they've got concern, all right. And concern that
but
they can
these
sit in the middle
people-
of that web.
these people may be going to Ryan's wife with questions, and I think at times you need to have a default answer.
Yeah.
And that's a sign of maturity. Cassie last night, I picked her up from small group, 9th grade. One of the girls in her small group had a family tragedy that Cassie found out about last night for the first time. Well, the girl had left, and Cassie asked this girl's best friend a little more about the tragedy, and this girl's best friend had a great response. Said, "It's not really my story to tell. I think you ought to ask her."
Oh, that's cool.
And I told Cassie, I said, "How'd that make you
Wow.
feel?" She goes, "Oh, I was fine with it." She goes, that was a really good response." And I
Yeah.
thought, for a 9th grade girl to
Yeah.
say that,
Any
you know.
girl, 90-year-old girl
Shut
will
up.
say that. A little got close to home there, huh? The Gossip Network. Yeah.
But
Whatever.
anyway,
We were just talking about who could keep a secret, and it wasn't McGill.
Oh,
that's-
wait a
that is
minute.
totally
What
true.
about someone spilled the beans or now
No.
have proven themselves to be
no,
untrustworthy?
no.
Mm-hmm.
but I think that's a line. You know what? You know what? She could say, Ryan and I kind of have this agreement that we're
Yeah.
just not gonna talk about stuff like that. So I'm sure somebody has an answer to that, but you probably want to ask elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't it funny that you have to come up with relational rules at time working
I
within
need
the
a lot of
church?
rules. The rules are good for me. I've had to retrain.
Well, that's-
You can
I've had
remember
to
them, though.
try-
That's the problem.
Yeah. And it seems interesting though, is that don't you think that in a small church more people are apt to come up to Ryan's wife than people come up to Kathy or Mish or Lee?
Well,
about
yeah,
church
I
stuff.
think the smaller, that is one of the things, one of the
Yeah.
things that I've tried to spend most of my life on when I talk youth ministry is not to be able to teach stuff that whether you're in small church or large church, it doesn't matter. It's all
Yeah.
stuff. But when it comes down to family, that's a different thing
Sure.
because, you know, my kids have grown up in a church where a lot of them aren't known as,
Yeah.
you know,
As
pastors'
pastors'
kids because
kids,
they
yeah.
don't, you know, church is so big they don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Well, I can't really identify what it's going to experience at that church because,
Yeah.
you know, 200 people, you pretty much know everybody in the church. So,
Right.
you know, when Cody was obnoxious in Sunday school, they might have recognized the last name, but
Right.
you know, he got a little more slack. So,
Yep.
I think the smaller the church, the more the magnifying glass is on. There's pros and cons to both. This is from Maggie Slusher, who wins favorite name. She's a student at the School of Theology and Ministry at Indiana Wesleyan University, Children's Ministry, Christian Education, Biblical Literature.
Wow.
That is
Yeah.
a big degree.
Quite the title. But it's a good question.
Look at the subject line. Very powerful.
Please answer.
Yep.
All caps.
All caps.
3 exclamation points.
I love it.
Here's the background. First, know that our pastoral staff is very young, and we're all in school at some level while in ministry. I am the children's pastor, 21 years old. I'm a sophomore. Our senior pastor is 24, going to seminary. Our youth pastor is 24, in the process of going back to school for his undergrad. Although we are young,
Pastor's the slacker. I love it.
although we are young, we have a huge passion to grow our church and impact our community as a body of believers. Our youth pastor has recently told us that he will be resigning because he feels as though God is calling him away from leadership right now. As a staff, we're in agreement with this decision. With all that is happening, I'm starting to think about the future and bringing someone in to fill his position. I'm looking to prevent a big mess or a lot of people getting hurt in this. What are your suggestions? Anything would be great.
It's kind of general.
Well, and that's why she
Like
said
what-
anything would be great. I was thinking, you know, you got a 24-year-old senior pastor. You know, like let's say Josh. Josh isn't here, but Josh, he's 30. What is Josh? 34.
He'll listen to the podcast though.
Well, it's okay.
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
He does to see if we say anything
Doesn't matter.
about him.
He's 34, right?
Right.
If this senior pastor, I don't think Josh has senior pastor ambition, but if this senior pastor at 24
If it was a
had
Brought
competition,
Josh
he
in.
would.
had an ego where he could bring in somebody like Josh, who's got a little
Yeah.
more experience, a little more wisdom.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot more experience, probably a lot more wisdom, that he could be a youth pastor at 34 in a young staff church. I think that would be to the benefit of the senior pastor.
Okay.
But I think a lot of senior pastors would not be able to handle that.
Yeah,
Bringing in
so-
somebody a little bit older, and some would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
But-
mean, is she trying to alleviate bringing somebody in who's going to have a little bit more staying
Well, it
power
sounds like
at the
she just wants it
church?
to be a smooth transition. Like,
Yeah, I'm trying to prevent a big mess or a lot of people getting hurt in this. And maybe I read it wrong. Maybe I was thinking more of just the health of the church, and maybe it's he's stepping down, the youth pastor stepping down for
Yeah.
some type of reason that I don't really get.
But I mean, we would say in a situation like this where we would say chemistry will be really important.
Yeah.
Some of that competence, and obviously them being young, will be learned, you know.
Yeah.
But chemistry would be really important.
Yeah. Well, and I wrote on there, just as I wrote it's a fairly general question.
Yeah.
But I think there is in a situation like that, if I was consulting them, I would say get some near gray hair there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, get somebody that's been through it a little bit. If you can handle, you know, if you can,
Somebody
the
older,
senior
yeah.
pastor can handle somebody who has a little more experience in coaching. I'm speaking at a church this weekend in Seattle, and it looks like a fabulous, fabulous church. I've heard about it for a few years, and I told the pastor, well, I'm guessing in his young 30s, I said, man, I looked at the website, and at 46 years old, it looks like I'm going to be the oldest guy there. And he was very funny. He goes, no, we've got a couple like you. We have to wake them up before the service is over and walk them out to their car. But my guess is that
That's
he's
fair.
got some senior leadership around him. It would be my guess. I may be wrong, but there are probably
Yeah.
some people who are a little more seasoned that are around him. Obviously, it's a happening church. They're
Yeah.
doing great things.
Well, and
But
they're
my
really
guess is if he's a leader, he's also learning from people that have been around.
they're really connected to another church, though.
Oh, are
Right.
they? I don't know.
Oh, I think so. That they're really connected to another church who has older leadership, though. They're an older church, has older leadership. And so I think that
What's
but
the
that is
church?
what you're saying.
It's East Lake.
Oh, you're going to the Eastlake Church.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, his dad's a pastor. or
Yeah.
San
was
Diego.
down in San Diego.
At East
Yeah.
Lake Church.
At Eastlake.
Oh,
yeah.
is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Meeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan Meeks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I
short
don't know
guy.
him. Yeah. He's short?
Sharp.
Like, why does that matter? He's short.
No, actually, I went on his website and he has a little intro video. And his intro video is real warm and, well, come check it out. And then it ends and it's about 2 minutes of bloopers
Oh, that's
of him
funny.
just getting the little intro video. And as I watch it, I'm laughing because every
That's
blooper
funny.
is one that I feel like I've done or kind of do the same thing. I
Yeah.
thought, oh gosh, it was.
That's good.
Maybe you're the gray hair he's bringing in.
Hey, I know a lot of my friends have moved to Seattle. Yeah.
Okay.
You're the gray. You're retired.
You're retired.
Oh, how's the job hunt going? We get an update on the job hunt?
Well, as many jobs as you're leaving behind, I could just take one of yours. How many jobs have you had in the last 2 years?
I don't know. I don't know. No.
This is your third?
Well, no, I still have regionals
Yeah, for now.
for now. We'll see how that happens. Yeah, no, had the local missions job for 8 months
Yeah.
and either knocked it out of the park or
So you're either being moved because you
Yeah.
did such a good job.
Dave Arnold was in my office today, just stopped by saying hello. He's like, you either did a really great job or not. Either one worked.
Oh.
No, I mean, it was conversational. I mean, it wasn't like coming in and, no, it's great.
All right, this is from Brian Bulmer, Fletcher Memorial Baptist Church. He says, recently I've been having problems with cell phones affecting our ministry. I have seen texting affect the attitude and actions of students at church and away from church. I have seen students lose focus during programming and on trips. Some of my leadership team wants to ban cell phones, but I think that for our entry program, this would cause a negative view of the church. What have you discovered to be a wise ways to handle cell phones in our church to youth at church, and how families should deal with teens and cell phones? Well, I think you're right for an entry level program. You know, you're inviting people that have not
Sure.
been to church or don't know Jesus and saying, welcome, hand over your phone.
Yeah.
I think Josh has done a really good job at involving texting
I was gonna say.
as part of his service.
Yeah.
He always has some type of voting thing
But
going
not
up
just
there.
text in, like not just a vote thing, but sometimes he'll say, text this to your friend.
Yeah,
Like he will.
he uses it as
Yeah.
part of the deal.
Yeah.
And anymore now, I mean, there was a comment card from a couple weeks ago when I spoke at Saddleback
I know.
that
What did it
said
say?
it said don't make fun of us texting.
If you see me on my iPhone, don't make fun of me texting.
I'm taking notes.
No,
or
I'm reading the Bible.
Yeah, because there's a Bible program.
Seriously, what's that? I'm texting. No, that was too easy.
That's
That
quality
was just
humor.
quality humor.
Man, I know why you're the favorite and the most annoying.
That's right.
So I if you're going on a camp, and you want it to be more of a spiritual retreat, you just put it as part of the do not bring deal.
It's
Yeah.
funny though, because I think so many parents now rely on texting. So I think
Yeah.
you got to be really clear with parents. Like, we will text you. Don't expect to get a text from
Yeah.
your students.
Yeah.
And explain why.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. We're trying to get kids to escape from their leash on technology for 48 hours. And if you feel like you can't handle that as a parent, knowing where your kids are 48 hours, maybe this isn't a good camp for them to go
Yeah.
on, but this is what we're doing.
What do you guys have family rules on phones? Like, I mean, I think you and Kathy have always been really good of like not talking on the phone when you're in the car.
Yeah.
Especially now that it's illegal. But do you guys have, we're out to dinner, no texting?
Yeah, everybody puts their phone away when we're at meals, that type of thing. And then I've had for probably 10 years.
Yeah.
I just, whenever my kids are in the car, I don't
Yeah.
talk on the phone. So,
Yeah.
Me neither, but that's mostly because everybody's screaming, not because.
Well, that's the
well,
age
you
of
know
our
what?
kids.
I had this friend.
Remember your first car phone?
Yeah, I do.
I think it was gigantic.
I know. Yeah, attached to the floorboard. And I remember Bart Campolo, Tony Campolo's son, who's my age, was out to do something, and he got in my car and he saw the phone, and he made some comment about materialism and
Yeah.
you know that
Yeah.
rich people
Well,
here. I got a phone.
Yeah. Campolo.
Yeah.
That was a hot potato.
That's funny, Matt.
I don't know where that came
4%.
from.
4% of our team got that. Tony
Oh.
Campolo wrote a book many years ago called 10 Hot Potatoes.
Christians are afraid to touch or something.
That's
That was
funny.
good. I don't know where that
That
came
was
from.
really good. That
Thanks.
was
So I
cool.
got to the entertaining part, not the annoying.
Well,
one, that one.
you know what? It was entertaining to a slice of our audience.
Yeah.
Who
But you
are-
explained it.
Yeah.
So they all think it's great now, 100%.
Okay. Anything else on cell phones? You know, this is not an easy one. I think you just got to do it step by step. I think you know, sometimes when it comes to like rules, before you come up with a rule, you really got to wrestle with that and go, okay, let's really walk this rule all the way to the extreme.
And is it for their benefit or for your benefit?
Yeah.
I mean, because that's, you know, when anytime we'd have someone new come into our ministry through the years, or Josh's ministry now, but they would always say, oh, there's too much talking. Why do they sit in tables?
Yeah.
You know, get them to pay attention. And yeah, you don't want anybody to be a distraction. I mean, people
Yeah.
were a distraction. We would tell people to be quiet or ask people to leave.
Yeah.
But, you know, if they were passing notes or drawing or something like that, I mean, if they weren't absolutely riveted,
Yeah.
sure, it hurts as a teacher, but
Yeah.
you're not.
That's what I was
But
just
you-
thinking.
it's
It's,
not,
it's
you
your
know.
own, typically your own ego.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
so when I'm speaking, I see kids texting. I'm going, oh, okay, I'm not
Yeah.
drawing them in. But I mean, think about, I can sit and listen to a
Yeah.
hour and 10-minute sermon at my church and listen.
I can
to
pay attention to the podcast and check just to see what me. Oh, there you go.
All right. This is from Do Not Use My Name in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We often have to set the example for behavior, but many times I have adults who are taking part in the exact behavior we are trying to avoid.
That's like our
Is Doug
life with
Fields
Matt
in your youth
McGill.
group?
Oh,
Oh,
Doug Fields. What are you talking about?
dude, if you're not running the meeting, you screw around so much. What are you talking about?
I really do.
I really do.
I can totally
And you
admit
know
that.
what? That's an acceptable duplicity. I do the same. I mean, I pay attention a lot more than you do, but
No, I don't think so. Side conversations in small groups, large group, poor work, or language use. How would you recommend approaching these adults with grace and love, but yet truly make sure the point is presented in a loving way? We all fail at times, but I've gotten the, quote, I'm being authentic and real, and I'm not sure this is anything more than an excuse. It's fair?
wait a minute. I'm being authentic and real. That's why I have to be a distraction.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I wish someone would say that to
So
me.
what would you say then, Matt? You put yourself in this youth worker's role.
Yeah. I mean, I'm being authentic. That's great. You're just authentically wrong. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, I could cuss and say that's what I'm really thinking, but what you're thinking is really wrong. So
Yeah.
authentic is not the only standard by which you act.
Yeah.
You know, there is such a thing as wisdom and respect, and you're there to help people grow and set an example. And yeah. I mean, but he's got it right. You got to say something. You know, he said grace and love. You got to do it grace and truth. I mean, you got to say what the line that we've always used, you used it and we've used it ever since, is that you don't want to let one person ruin something for everybody else.
Yeah.
And you got to do the hard thing and say something even if that person doesn't like you for it.
Yeah.
But
well,
I
and you
think
got to
that-
make sure that you're not doing it.
Yeah,
when
you gotta
it's
check your
when
heart.
it's your turn as well.
well, and I just, the only thing I would say is, are they adding an element of fun to it though? Like, because I think there's times where you two especially are acting up or doing something, but it does add fun to that
Yeah.
atmosphere, and that's an important part of.
I'm usually doing it to save the meeting
Yeah.
that Matt's running.
Right.
Like,
I only
well,
do it when it's
or
super
yesterday.
dry.
Yes.
When Douglas is, you know.
Yeah, I
talking
actually
about
But I-
the funnel
I
or
felt a little
something.
guilty about that.
No, that's
Was
good.
it inappropriate?
No,
you
it was
think?
funny.
You
It was
screwed
good.
around today during the licensing.
Kind of.
No,
I,
it's
fine.
I just
What'd
made
you do?
I made a comment. It was
What was the
it
comment?
was
It
like
was
the
good.
softball toss.
Totally.
It was so great. Like
Who hit it?
I hit it,
Oh.
but Gerald just tossed it up
Oh,
there, and,
oh,
and it was like prime for a comment. And and everybody was talking all serious, and it was just
Yeah.
I need a little comic relief.
What was it? Do you want to let everybody in?
It's
it
not.
takes
It's
wouldn't make
way
funny.
too insider. It's
Yeah.
not.
It would
on
make
that.
fun. Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
But so just to make, I mean that's the only thing I'd say, because I think some of our volunteer staff meetings and stuff, that has been something that is endearing to that community, is that fun element that could be read as distracting, but is.
Yeah, as long as if I feel like it's distracting, I might have fun with it for a little bit, and then say, okay, gang, it's time to let's pull it back, and we got 8 more minutes left. Let's go.
Yeah.
On something like this, what I would do if I was this youth worker, Matt's correct in saying you just because you're being authentic and real doesn't mean it's right. Is I would address it generally first.
Yeah.
And then after I set the general direction, then I would go face to face with people and say, Jana, I know we all mess up, but last Sunday at staff meeting when we were talking about distractions, that was a perfect example of what it is. And boy, if you could help me with that, that'd be great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and I think in our general we say, hey, we're going to do this for the next 20 minutes. Let's talk about this. And then afterwards we're going to allow time for community or whatever.
I was once doing a high school team meeting. You probably don't even remember this. And I had a stupid prop that I had hidden, like that I was building up towards. It was totally just a game. It was a total gimmick. And it was one of these things, and it was like I was talking about it for a second, and then you just walked by, and because I showed you what I was going to do, and you're like, "Hey, do you guys need?" And I was like, "Oh, you." I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal. It wasn't like this life-changing thing, but it was just like, oh gosh.
I don't even remember that.
I know you don't.
But you know what? That was part of the affection that we had with our volunteers was they would see our camaraderie.
Right.
And knew that we would take a bullet for each other.
Yeah.
Or at least
before I quit.
Yeah, before you quit on me. But I'm glad your job security's been so strong since then.
Hey, I'd take a paintball.
All right. I got more questions, but we told Jana we'd only go this long so that she could get to her manicure.
And my bladder's really full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris?
Do you have anything for us?
I'm a loser at Simply Insider. Send in your weekly weights.
Finish it off .com,
I
right?
think most humans would know .com. They're not thinking .tv.
Yeah, it might be.
Or .dot.
Yeah.
Q.
That's my email. That's a good
funny.
email. It's quality.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do this. Let's all call Josh.
Let's have a little bit more energy next time.
Yeah, you know what? I think I was a little down because I feel like
I'm slacking on the weight thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you got me at the beginning. I was so excited to announce we got 100 people in the game. Somebody wrote in
99. Matt's not really playing.
Jana, 2. Maybe 2. Wow.
It's because she's on a new team.
Maybe that's it. She's been more freed up.
Yeah, she has a new boss.
Yeah, this month. Yeah, I think that was it. I was all excited to announce that we have like 100 people in the contest, and really excited about that. And then the fact that one guy's already lost 13 pounds.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's since he weighed in. He said his post-Thanksgiving weight. So it might be.
Who is that? We got to check in with that guy.
He's doing a good job. I don't think to lose 13 pounds since Friday.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do that.
Because really that's like
It
5
happened
days.
on that Biggest Loser thing.
Yeah, and they're working out like 5 hours a day.
Yeah.
They work out 5 hours a day.
I think 5 to 6 hours a day, something like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I should
You
go
would
on that
fail
show.
on that exercise plan.
Chris is part of the contest.
Oh, nice.
How have you been doing?
And taking it serious.
Not so great this week.
Chris.
It's been a stressful week.
Yeah, it is seriously.
Stress never helps.
Gosh,
All right,
seriously.
let's just blame the show, the whole show,
On Josh.
on Josh
On
not being
Josh?
here and you giving up.
I haven't given
Okay,
up.
we'll do that. Let's
I'm
bring it in.
gonna beat
Let's
you.
bring it in.
What if I beat you?
This is like a restart.
Yep.
Goodbye.
That's funny.